Yep, UncleLou here with your halftime report for your afternoon games. Alabama all over Florida, 21-9. Very weird end of the half to that game. You very rarely see Alabama and Nick Saban get conservative at the end of a half like that. They held Florida on basically a 3-and-out. Florida had to punt, and there was like a minute and 20 or a minute and 25 to go after the third down play. The clock was running. Alabama had 2 timeouts, and they didn't take one. So obviously Florida just stood around for the full time of the play clock, let the clock tick down. They punted it away. Alabama fair catch at the 10-yard line. Then they come out, run it up the middle, get no gain. Still don't use the timeouts and just go into the locker room. You don't see Alabama do that very often. They're usually very aggressive at the end of half. So a little unusual to see that. Your Emily Jones report for the first half. 1 turnover, no touchdowns for Emily Jones. Florida did score a touchdown, though. Of course, I made a prediction that Emily Jones would have more turnovers in this game than Florida would have touchdowns. And right now, that prediction is a push. It's tied 1-1. Emily Jones has 1 turnover. Florida has the 1 touchdown. And Alabama's up 21-9. Alabama scored like it was nothing on their first 3 possessions. And then they kind of got stuck in neutral. Florida's defense held them for a couple of drives there. Florida ended up with a field goal and then a touchdown on another drive. Of course, they missed the extra point because they're Florida, and they're just not that good. So 21-9 at halftime. Clemson Georgia Tech game's on a delay. And that's good news for Clemson because where is Clemson? Clemson didn't show up for this game. Clemson is beating Georgia Tech with like 30 seconds to go in the second quarter. 7-0. 7-0. I don't know what's going on. Georgia Tech Georgia Tech lost to Northern Illinois, for Christ's sake, a couple of weeks ago. And Clemson's out here screwing around with, I don't know what they're doing. You got to remember, Clemson beat Georgia Tech last year 70-something to 7 or whatever. It was like 75-10 or 70-6. I mean, it was that bad. That game got so bad last year. Clemson took their starter out, Trevor Lawrence. Then they put the backup in, a ukulele, took him out. They put the 3rd string in. He scored, took him out. Put the 4th string in. He scored, took him out. At the end of that game last year, the Clemson-Georgia Tech game, Clemson was playing their punter at quarterback. Their freaking punter. That's how bad that game was. And now Clemson can't do anything. It's 7-0 with 30 seconds to go in the second quarter, and they're on a weather delay. So it'll be at least a 30-minute delay for lightning. Clear everybody off the field. It's got to not lightning for at least 30 minutes before they let them come back out. Another big shocker, Florida State losing again today, this time to Wake Forest. How many terrible teams, forget how many losses Florida State's going to have. How many losses are they going to have to terrible teams? Wake Forest, who'd they lose to? Jacksonville State, Notre Dame. I mean, these are terrible teams. Notre Dame, I mean, they barely, are they even beating Purdue? What's the score of that game? Well, hold on, I'll tell you. 17-13, you're beating Purdue? Purdue? God. Rudy's rolling over in his jail cell. This is embarrassing. Iowa 16-7 over Kent State. Ohio State was losing to Tulsa for a long time. It's halftime of that game now. They're up 13-6. I was saying this earlier on the live stream. I know y'all, Georgia, what is Georgia right now, 2-0? So I know everyone watching this video thinks Georgia's going 2-10 and Georgia's terrible and you hate me and you hate Georgia. That's fine. Alabama is clearly deserving of the number 1 ranking. Georgia is clearly deserving of the number 2 ranking. After that, it's a crapshoot. It's a crapshoot. I don't know. How do you rank these teams? Clemson, Oklahoma. Oklahoma? My God. What are you doing? Against Scott Frost? Man, I don't know what the deal is. Cincinnati. Now, Cincinnati struggled for 3 quarters, basically, but ended up beating Indiana by 14, and Cincinnati was only favored by 3.5 in that game. Cincinnati ended up winning by 14 points. So, do you move Cincinnati up to 3? Is it Alabama, Georgia, and then Cincinnati? Is it Alabama, Georgia, and then Iowa? Is it Alabama, Georgia, and then Oregon? What if Penn State wins tonight? Where do you rank them? This is a clusterfuck from 3 through 10. I mean, Alabama and Georgia are on another level. Cry about it. That's just the way it is. Anyway, Dan Mullen's a clown. No Anthony Richardson at all. Now, Dan Mullen, they stopped Dan Mullen for an interview after the first half when he was dancing his way off the field with his clown shoes and his big red nose. And they asked him, has Emily Jones played well enough in the first half? blah, 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 where you don't have to play Anthony Richardson. And he went on and on and on. I've never seen a coach hype up an injury. There ain't no injury. Dan Mullen is making excuses for himself, right? Everyone knows Emily Jones is terrible and that Anthony Richardson is better. By everyone, I mean everyone except Dan Mullen. Now, I don't know why anybody's surprised. This is the same Dan Mullen that looked you in your face, Florida fan, and told you for 2 years in a row that Felipe Franks was better than Kyle Trask. And we all know that ain't true. And now he's doing the same thing. He's like the Pied Piper. These Florida fans falling right off the cliff like a bunch of rats. But he's out here telling anybody that'll listen that Emily Jones is better than Anthony Richardson. We all know it's not true. So he gives this halftime interview when he's slinking his off the field in the first half. Oh, well, Anthony Richardson is hurt. And, by the way, he's hurt. And, we can't put him in risk his injury because I don't know if I mentioned this, but Anthony Richardson is hurt. Anthony Richardson is not hurt. They've got video of this guy, Anthony Richardson, in the pregame warm-ups on the field doing a full Olympic gymnastics routine from the 20-yard line to the goal line. Backflips, half turns, twists, tucks. Anthony Richardson might be the next Simone Biles. I don't know. Anyway, I'm streaming the afternoon games on the channel, so if y'all are watching the games and you want to come hang out, there's 400 or 500 people in the comments section. Come hang out, argue with people in the comments section. And then, of course, tonight, you got Georgia versus South Carolina, Auburn versus Penn State. Now, I'm going to be streaming the primetime games over on the Patreon page, so for those of you that are members of the Patreon, you know the routine. Just check the Patreon page about 6:45 or 7. There'll be a link posted. Click the link. It'll take you to tonight's live stream for the primetime games. Anyway, so far so good. Great day of college football. We'll see how the rest of it goes. Have a good morning.